Hi, guys, welcome back to my channel. For the Women in Leadership series, we have with us today Zai Miztiq, a global speaker, author, and CEO of Step Up Journey. She is a remarkable figure who transformed adversity into empowerment. Zai's journey from overcoming a spinal injury to becoming a beacon of confidence and resilience is both inspiring and impactful. Her best selling books and commitment to sustainable leadership highlight her dedication to guiding others on a path of empowerment and success. Let's go and talk to Zai. Hi, Zai, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good too. So, Zai, your journey has been truly inspiring, overcoming a life altering accident in 2005. How did this experience shape your perspective on leadership, especially as a woman in a global context?
Wow, very interesting. It's two big questions. One is how did I move from a life-altering accident? I will share a bit about that and
Please
how
do.
that helped impact my leadership skills or rather, to help me grow personally and professionally. So, if I can share with your audience, so technically, guys, in 2005, I met with an accident. I broke my spine. Doctor said I will never be able to walk anymore. Even after the operation, the doctor said I only had 5% chance of walking again. And that surgery left me with 8 screws and 2 metal rods on my spine. And I had to learn how to walk again. And I was only 25 at that time. And then before that, I was running my business. I was doing henna in Japan. I lived in Japan. I used to model. So imagine you used to catwalk and walk on earth, like, you own the world. And then suddenly you have no ability to walk. And the only thing that I think I hung on to was I needed to stay alive because I wanted to be there for my mother. I think so. Willpower is one thing, and of course, God's power is another thing, because it was a miracle that I could actually
Was.
walk again. Yeah, and a year it took me. I was bedridden for a long time. I was on self-controlled morphine. Um, I had to literally learn how to walk again. And as I was learning how to walk again, I think at that age you were kind of in denial, and you're like, oh, okay, come what may, I'll be fine, like, and stuff. But 1 year into the accident, how a lot of my leadership skills and things I teach and train today as a motivator, trainer, and speaker is did I step up to turn my pain into power? And then as I was having a class yesterday, authentic public speaking, I had a group of 16, from 16 to 60-year-olds. And I realized that a lot of us struggle with fears, a lot of wounds of abandonment, wounds of rejection. And whatever and however we are operating today is mostly based on how we have been programmed, be it culturally, emotionally, or how we've been programmed. And I think it's about time all of us stepped up to unpack all of those and see what's relevant, what's useful, what's not useful, and to then shine and be the authentic human.
That's really
that
beautiful.
that how we step up to bring out the resilient, confident, compassionate leader in us. I think this is the core of what I do as well, and hope to spread. Yeah.
That is amazing. Can I ask you, how long did it take you to learn how to walk again?
So I was in hospital for a good 3 weeks. I got very restless and bored, and I was like, Doctor, I need to walk. Like, I need help. Like, please help me. And he was like, are you kidding? Like, you're still on self-control morphine. No way. And I'm like, no, I want to. I can. And I think getting bored was a useful thing. So then he sent me to there was 2-3 nurses around me all the time, brought me to the physio, and I had to literally find strength. I couldn't even sit properly on a wheelchair. I still recall my body was like, it was bad. It was bad. I mean, with 8 screws to metal rods later, still it was bad. And then, but I'm like, no, I can't. I want. So I literally had to practice. And I remember clearly when I was on the wheelchair and I had to get up from the seat, I asked the nurse, how do I stand up? And then as I was holding their hands, I was like, how do I walk? That was the question I asked them. Can you imagine how we take
I
breathing,
really can't imagine.
Yeah,
That's
we take
really
breathing, walking, moving our hands for granted, because I had to ask them, like, how do I walk? And she's like, oh, you can swing your hips. And I'm like, oh, that reminded me of my catwalk, right? And then it's like, oh my God, that level of gratitude and
mm,
embarrassment, and how I felt so little in front of God. I was like, not little, but like I felt like the grandeur of God more than me feeling small. That was very powerful. So Alhamdulillah, like from the works I do today, is all based on real life experiences, hard knocks. Like when I traveled to Japan, I was only 20. I had some henna cone with me, some designs. It was bitter winter cold. I thought it was spring. I could do a lot of things. How did I find opportunities, open up doors, and just the grit and the resilience and the I'm not turning back. Like I'm here for a reason. Why
amazing,
did God send?
amazing. Mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah.
So, tell me, Zai, in your role as a mentor at
Yeah.
the Women's Leadership Academy of the US Department of State, what
Mm-hmm.
key insights do you emphasize to empower women in leadership positions or those who aspire to be leaders?
I say this all the time. How do I inspire leaders to be leaders? I think at the core of it is we need to know our main intention and objective. So it's always about bringing out the resilient, confident, compassionate leader in us. I used to say, be the strong, soulful success you are meant to be. Because a lot of people think I just need to be strong, or I just need to be soulful, or I just want to be successful. But it's not enough, each of them. You got to be three together. So resilience, confidence, and compassionate leader. And how do you get there? I think I use some easy steps. First, the 3D system, you need to know who you are. You need to unpack the who you're not and live your authentic self. And then knowing what you want to do, how you want to move forward, and then deciding how do you want to appear, how do you want to show up. So first, turn your pain into power, turn your dreams into reality with confidence and clarity. And then, most importantly, you need to turn your passion into profit, because when we have the financial ability, I think that helps us, support us to move forward. So we don't become needy, clingy. When we give, we can give in abundance. Like now, we are doing a free session, right? We're recording stuff. So we're not earning anything from this, but we can give from our heart because we're comfortable. And I think this is the importance of being financially free, or having the ability to give. Now, when you give, you must learn to receive. I think a lot of women leaders, I want to address this. A lot of people, when they keep giving and giving, we are such poor receivers. So if there's something I can share, which I learned from my meditation teacher, was, when you inhale, you have to exhale, because you cannot keep inhaling, we will die. So we have to inhale and exhale. As much as we are a good giver, we need to be receiving and drop our ego jacket. I always call it drop our ego jacket. Like, guys, yeah, we don't need that. We
Well
don't need
said.
that defense, that wall. Well, we have it. We need to keep healing from it, I think. Yeah, more than motivation, it's healing, transformation. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So your dedication to turning pain into power is
Mm-hmm.
evident, obviously. In your book, Turn Your Passion into Profit, right? Can you share a specific example from your life where this philosophy played a crucial role in your leadership journey?
So many. I think one of the most recent one was when I lost my mom 4 years ago. I think breaking my spine was not as painful and difficult as having had to lose a mother. Because she was not my mother, she was my princess. I'm her last child of 6. And when you're the last child and you're single, it's your baby. Yeah. So she was my princess. I think going through grief, pre her passing on, and then when she passed on, and the post grief took me a good 3-4 years. I was very broken, very, very broken. I felt, it's hard to even explain, but this is something people don't talk about. So sanity for caregivers is so important, guys. Emotional, mental well-being, financial support for caregivers, not the one who is dying. Normally, they support the person who is dying, the palliative care, the doctors, everyone's there. but the caregiver stress, nobody talks about this. So this is an area that we all can actually explore. But how I used that was, after a while, I asked myself, my mom has passed on. Now I am still alive, and what can I do better? Of course, before that, I was like, the world can wait. I don't care about anything. I don't want to continue with my journey as a motivator, speaker, anything. I dropped everything. I said, I don't care if I have to work at McDonald's or just be a barista at a coffee place. I'm fine. Like, that's what I can do, and that was what I will do. That was just to give me a cushion, right? To be comforted. But after a while, I mean, of course, with all the testimonies again, when I speak to people on the podcast, and then they're like so awed, and their listeners write into me, or when I speak at events or get invited to panel discussions, and I'm like, no, I'm still alive. Like, I got to do this. If I don't do it, then who else? So I think that was a journey of me moving from victim to victor, stepping up to turn my pain into power. And I think after her passing on, I had a lot to heal from. I felt like my mom and dad connected and met in heaven and betrayed me. It was huge because my dad passed on already. So I was like, oh, now you two leave me, and a huge betrayal. It was terrible. So when that happened, I said, but then that helped me heal. And I said, this is their journey, this is their life, and I have my life. How do I move forward?
You have great commitment, obviously, to fostering sustainable leadership. How do you believe organizations can create a positive work environment that empowers women and contributes to long-term success?
It's a great question. How organizations can foster a positive environment for women. Not just women, I think our boys are being silenced a lot. But speaking about women's leadership, I think to foster a healthy space for communication, having open hard topics, like hard conversations, I think this is important. Yesterday I was at an event, public speaking workshop. One of the attendee, it's a real life example, said one of her colleagues said, I expected so much more from you when I hired you, but you're not like doing what you're supposed to do. And then I asked him, what do you mean? She said, no. How long ago was that? 2 months ago. So I was like, no, go back tomorrow, like to this Monday, and tell him, hey, I attended a course, and I just got curious about our conversation the other day, and I want to clarify. So clarification is the opposite of assumption. And she kept feeling that she's not good enough, maybe she's in the wrong job and everything else. No, someone saw value in you and know that you can do so much better. So ask, what is it? I think having open conversations and open door policies, I think is very useful. But then again, there's also a tricky part where you need to have boundaries, because if not, people step on your head. I always advocate for compassionate leadership, but they were like, oh, if I'm too kind or too nice, then my employees or my subordinates will take advantage of me. I said be kind. I didn't say be too nice until you get stepped on. Right. So there's that line of not being aggressive, firm, or whatever, but it's a very fine line. I think we need to have more conversations about such things so that people can just be authentic and don't have to be guarded. It's so tiring.
In your experience as a speaker, author, and trainer, what specific challenges do you see women facing in the workplace today? And what advice would you give them to overcome some of those challenges?
We speak about women empowerment. I've been doing this for the last 10 years, right? The motivational training company. Yeah. So it started out as women empowerment. And then I realized that our women are going back home to their men, to their fathers, to their kids. And there is nothing that I'm providing that can support the community as a whole.
Yes.
I do a youth leadership program. It's called Brave Leadership. Be a warrior, not a worrier. So I ran sessions in schools, spoke to boys and the girls, talked about career development, empowerment, and the good thing was when I ran the youth program, or I don't know is it a good or bad thing, I had a 12-year-old in a group of 40 write down, my personal goal is not to go to jail. And I pulled him aside, I asked him, why did you write that? And I'm like, what's the conversations going on at home? Why is this boy writing this?
Exactly.
And he said, Miss Zai, I don't want to be like my uncle. So when he said that, he also said, I'm so happy that your book is not a hardcover, and I'm going to send this to my uncle so he will be inspired. A 12-year-old boy, Amira. So then I drew an Awakening Parents program. The real solution is resilient, confident parents raise confident, compassionate kids. I had a session, 20 sessions nationwide in Singapore for parents. That was one of the best things I've done in my life, I think.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I will see you again. Bye bye.